Hey guys, welcome back to the channel where we bring you amazing African stories. Please like this video and subscribe so you can be notified whenever we upload a new video. This is the story of how the ocean was created. Now, many years ago, in a small village at the foot of a mountain, lived a young girl who would go up the mountain every day to collect firewood. The young girl was always careful when going up the mountain because there was a dangerous rock that would roll down the mountain every single day at exactly midday and crush anyone who was caught underneath it. And so, she had learnt to know when the rock was about to fall by looking at the sky and seeing a big dark cloud over the mountain peak. One day, though, she was collecting firewood up the mountain and became so engrossed in collecting the dry branches that she did not notice the large dark cloud that appeared on top of the mountain. As she continued to collect firewood, the rock started rolling down the mountain, and she only noticed when it was too late. She ran and tried to hide under a big rock, but unfortunately the rock fell on top of her and killed her instantly. On the other side of the mountain, far away from where the young girl died, a young man was also collecting firewood. This young man had heard the story of the rock that rolled down the mountain and had been warned never to go to the mountain alone. But he was so sure that he could outrun the rock, so he decided to go ahead and collect some firewood despite his friend's warnings. He had been collecting firewood when he suddenly saw the huge dark cloud that signaled the rock's descent. He turned around and started to run as fast as he could, while shouting at the top of his lungs. As he ran, he looked over his shoulder and shouted again, "Hey rock, wait for me! Hey rock, slow down! Hey rock, I am faster than you!" When the rock heard his words, it paused briefly, then started to roll faster, picking up speed as it came down the mountain. It hit the young man, crushing him into pieces. As this was happening, an old woman who was walking through the village saw what had happened and knew that it was time for her to do what she had been waiting to do for many years. She went into the river, dipped water into a small clay pot, and came out of the river. Then she walked to the two corpses lying on the ground and sprinkled water on them and said, "Wake up, you are no longer going to die." And just like that, the young man and the young woman woke up, sat up, and found themselves completely unharmed. The old woman explained to them what had happened, telling them why she had saved them. You see, many years ago, the river had asked the old woman to help save two innocent lives in exchange for filling the vast ocean that covered the earth at the time. With the two youngsters now alive, the old woman went to the river and told the river that she had brought it to lives that it had asked for. The river was very happy and immediately withdrew back into its bed, leaving behind only a small portion of water that had been taken by the old woman. That's how the oceans were created, and that's the end of the story. Now, before we begin today's story, I would like to ask that you take a moment to show your support by liking this video. If you have not yet subscribed, please do so and be part of the family. Also, if you have a story that you would like to share with us, please send it to the email below. Your stories matter. Now, today's story is one of the many stories I love to tell my little niece and nephew whenever I babysit them. This is the story of the hole in the wall. Once upon a time, the Coco people lived along the coast and depended on the sea for food. One day, a group of young men went out to fish, but they had been out for many days without catching anything. They were starting to get worried, because if they went back home empty-handed, their families would starve. Just when they were about to lose all hope, they saw something in the distance and paddled towards it. It was a small rocky island that none of them had seen before. They hid amongst the rocks and waited for some fish to pass by. In no time at all, a huge school of fish swam past, and the fishermen were overjoyed. They filled their nets and even had enough to take back to their families. When the fishermen arrived at the village, they told everyone about the new fishing grounds they had discovered. The entire village turned out the following morning to go and fish at the new site. When they arrived at the island, they realized that there was a large opening in the rock face that stretched from one end of the island to the other. The Xhosa people believe that this is a gateway for their ancestors. They call it Isikaline, or a place of thunder due to the loud clap that waves make as they pass through the hole. The villagers decided to name the island after this special natural phenomenon. They called it Ikala, which means gate in their language. They also named the hole Kanchincha, meaning the entrance. From that day onwards, the people of the village would fish every day at the gate. The women and children would stay at the entrance, while the men would go inside and catch as many fish as they needed. The men would grab the fish by the tail and toss them into the air, and the women and children would catch them with their hands and place them into baskets. Soon, however, a bad rumor began spreading throughout the countryside about the people at the gate. People who had never seen the gate believed that it was the entrance to the land of the dead, where the souls of the departed went after death. They claimed that the people who fished at the gate were helping the spirits of the dead to leave the land of the living. Those who heard these rumors thought that it was forbidden to fish at the gate, and nobody should ever enter or leave through it. One day, a chief heard the rumors and decided to investigate for himself. He wanted to find out whether those who spread the rumors were telling the truth or just trying to scare the villagers away from the gate. When he got closer to the gate, he saw people coming through it. They were carrying baskets of fish and looked very happy. He was confused, because if this was the entrance to the land of the dead, why were people coming out of it? Instead of going back home, the chief decided to go inside the gate himself. He wanted to see where it led and discovered the truth behind the rumors. When he entered, he saw a beautiful garden with flowers and trees that he had never seen before. He sat under a tree to rest and wait for someone to come and talk to him. After a while, a beautiful woman approached him and asked, "Greetings, stranger. Why have you come to the garden?" The chief answered, "I came to see where the gate leads to, because many people say that it is the entrance to the land of the dead." The woman replied, "You have come to the right place, because this is indeed the entrance to the land of the dead. However, instead of leading to the land of the dead, the gate leads to the land of the living. This is the place where the souls of the departed come to rest before moving on to be reborn again." She then told the chief that she was the guardian of the gate, and it was her duty to make sure that nobody entered the garden except for those who were supposed to be there. She then showed him the gate and explained that it was a special place where the souls of the dead could rest in peace before passing on to the next life. When the chief heard this, he thanked the woman for her help and returned home. He told the villagers everything he had learned and ordered them to continue fishing at the gate. From that day onwards, the people were no longer afraid to fish at the gate, and they continued doing so for many years. To this day, the Xhosa people still tell stories of the gate and the woman who guarded it. And many fishermen still go to the gate to catch fish, just as their ancestors did many years ago. And that brings us to the end of today's story. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe so you can be the first to watch our new videos. If you have a story you would like to share with us, please send it to the email below. Once again, thank you for watching and see you soon. Bye.